Doc, people listen to us for nonsense, and we give it to them in spades. Nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. Some would even say, on our best days, malarkey. Braves, defending champs. Boy, it sure would be a shame if there was no season next year and we were just still the defending champs.
Also, this guy that got hit, how old was he?
46.
What a loser, just sissy man. You just got punched in the face by a 90-year-old man? Come on, dude.
I'll bet Doc is like the Sinbad of Ames, Iowa.
Oh,
because people, I didn't realize, I thought it was just a Doc thing with the corn jokes. Iowa people love corn jokes.
Well, you know what they say, knee high by July, baby.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that's killing in the Midwest right now. I'm sure when that hits their ears, they're like, that Doc, he gets us.
Doc, what do I love more than anything? That's right, an angry football team.
I prefer to think of Warsaw as like a battle of who's the best saw, right? So you have like a sawzall, you have a skill saw, you have a hacksaw, handsaw. It's just a battle of saws till the death.
Welcome to the Spaghetti Junction Boys podcast, coming to you from beautiful Atlanta, Georgia, and in Ben's case, Valdosta, Georgia. I am your host, as always, joined by the incomparable big dog himself, Doc Jacobson, losing himself in the sternum of said big dog, and the brick house, Ben Ralston. Before we get things started here, we want to thank our friends over at Manscaped. Support for the Spaghetti Junction Boys podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code SJBAtlanta at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, that's about 8 million balls. It's time to take care of yourself, so go to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with the code SJBAtlanta at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com when you use the code SJBAtlanta. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Now, I'm not sure if y'all saw this news or not. I'm going to act like we didn't just have a pre-show meeting. But the Liver King has come crashing down, an American icon. Just like we couldn't believe in love when Pete Davidson and insert celebrity here broke up, we can no longer believe in integrity in this country because the Liver King is on steroids. Doc, your reaction?
Just purely shocked. I mean, he was so just empathetic and resilient about never using steroids. I mean, this guy clearly has never touched a steroid in his life, by his words.
Ben, you have just become privy to who the Liver King is. Are you as shocked as Doc?
Not at all. I had no idea what his stance was. I simply Googled him and saw a picture and immediately said, yeah, this guy's on steroids.
His whole shtick is just like, if you're a real alpha, you'll rip out the fucking organs from this animal and eat them raw. And meanwhile, his cupboards are just a pharmacy in his kitchen. Sure, he may not have frozen chicken tenders in the freezer, but by God, he has human growth hormones throughout. But you know what? Some stars can only burn bright for so long, you know? And I guess we're just going to have to come to terms with this.
Maybe we need to give him a platform to apologize.
He hasn't responded to it yet, as far as I know, which, given the way that news cycles work, maybe he's just like, people will forget about this. Or like, maybe, he should go for a spin zone. Maybe start calling himself the steroid king. Go the complete other way and lean into it. Just big, if you're a real alpha, you take a lot of steroids. And just those are his videos. Instead of eating raw meat and raw testicles and all this, he's just popping pills the whole time.
Yeah, like, I imagine his influence is equal to that of any baseball player. So why isn't Congress getting involved?
Mm-hmm. We need the Rafael Palmeiro testimony
I'm
from
not
the
here to talk about the livers.
I'm going to be straightforward with you. I don't see the Liver King getting into Cooperstown at this rate.
I mean, his resume was questionable as is, and this
Yeah.
is you don't come back.
But I'm going to say on this recorded podcast that the Liver King will never make it to the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame. What do you think?
I think he's going to be signing autographs outside like a Dick's in suburban Ohio with Pete Rose next year. Just banned.
I think there's one route that he might be able to make it as like honorary inductee is if he just lines up with GNC right now, right? Creates his own supplement line, gets hooked up with the MLB, and just keeps the MLB half healthy for 20 decades plus. He might get a bid or a nod into the Hall of Fame.
You think he needs to be the spokesman for steroids for 200 years?
No, two decades.
Oh.
20 years.
Listen, I think another route he could go is just saying, if you believe this steroid news, you're a beta. Because that seems to be like the thing that people are doing these days on the internet a lot, is just like someone be like, if you eat at Chipotle, you're a cuck. And people are like, oh, I don't want that to be me. I guess I won't eat. I don't eat at Chipotle. How about that? If he just goes this route, especially the way like his followers are, just be like, oh yeah, reading news about me doing steroids, you're a total cuck. And so then people will be like, oh, I don't read this. What steroids? And then he just keeps moving on.
And Nathan Fielder was like the early adopter of that strategy before like Trump and the Republican Party. It was like he had that product where he said he tried to market it to toddlers, and he told them like, hey, if you don't like this toy, you're a baby. And all these toddlers, toddlers like absolutely do not want to be viewed as babies.
Me neither.
So then all of a sudden these toddlers who had no interest in the toy beforehand were like choosing the toy over, every other toy available.
So you're saying do that with adults, but with steroids.
But I'm saying it's already happening. So why doesn't the Liver King just profit from it too?
Mm-hmm. Well, I do have good news in that one of our pop culture kings is still a king. And that is after I saw Vin Diesel's Instagram post of him in a white blazer giving a thumbs up above a confused LeBron James at a Lakers game. And his caption on that Instagram is, I need Brittany Griner home before Christmas. Which I don't know why we haven't thought of this previously. I mean, the Biden administration is trying to negotiate with Russia when what we should be doing is getting our best man on this. You always want your best people on things. And Vin Diesel in a white blazer with sunglasses at an arena, I'm guessing a night game, that's our best man for the job.
I would watch that movie.
Yeah. If that's like a Netflix documentary, or not documentary, well, I'd actually really watch the documentary. But if that's just a Netflix movie where it's just, hey, I'm going to Russia and I'm not leaving without Brittany Griner, and she's going to have a very Merry Christmas. Doc, can you call some people to get on that?
Yeah, I'll make a couple phone calls. I mean, Vin Diesel is the man for this. He has broken into Russia many a times and stolen things in Fast 10 million. So
I've never seen a single Fast and the Furious within the universe of the like majority of the Fast and Furious.
You're missing out.
The only one I've seen is Tokyo Drift.
That's a good one to see, but you're really missing out. I mean, they're the most action-packed movies you can have right now, and they're great. They're just great. You like fast cars, Ben? You like things blowing up?
I don't.
Shooting guns?
I'm not against it. I just never knew that there was an element that somehow we could free a WNBA star with the concept of the movies. So now that I know that's in play, I'll watch them.
I I'm trying to think of like some crazy Fast and Furious like screenplay outline for how to get Brittany Griner out of Russian jail.
You see like a souped up Mazda get dropped out of a cargo plane right into the middle of the yard at this Russian prison. He goes, Brittany, get in, jingle all the way. And then he speeds out of there. And he drives home to America. He goes straight over to Alaska, goes over a ramp into Alaska, and comes back down. I
don't
also,
see any flaws.
to be very clear, have not seen a second of a Fast and Furious movie either.
Not even Tokyo Drift?
No, I haven't seen any of it. But I do know that they say family a lot from internet memes.
When you're near your family.
That makes me wonder why Olive Garden hasn't gotten a crossover yet. When you hear your family with Tyson Beckford, not Paul Walker, Vin Diesel. Who else is in these? The Rock? Isn't The Rock in these?
Yeah, The Rock's in it.
Isn't it Ludacris?
Ludacris.
I mean, what is
it? Is it Tyree?
That's the Ludacris mode came from?
Ludacris has his own mode? I'm learning way too much in like the last 15 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that's what we started this podcast for, is to be educational. If you don't have fun listening to us, at least you could say you learned something. I don't know. I mean, we sent Dennis Rodman over to cool North Korea's jets.
I don't think we did anything. I think
he like us personally, or the U.S.
I don't think anyone could guide his actions in any manner. I think he just does whatever he wants.
It's sort of like in Always Sunny in Philadelphia when they're talking to Charlie. They're just like, "Don't eat paint." He's like, "Yeah, I know." They're just like, "But don't eat paint." He's just like, "Totally right." Like, I cannot be any more clear. Don't drink paint. And they're just like, "Hey, Dennis Rodman, could you be cool over there in North Korea?" And he's just like, "Tattoos and piercings, man." It's just like, no, Dennis, like, really a lot of the world's fate could rest on you saying just like any wrong things, like purple hair. I got it. Like, oh, it's a big risk. But hey, at least he's not only said what he means, he has a deadline for it. Okay. And that's more than we've done. All right. How about that? All right. Well, I'm glad we wrapped that up so succinctly. So I follow an account on Twitter called No Context Brits. I'm not even sure if I follow them or if just my algorithm has seen that I've liked enough posts from them that they're just like, you want more of this shit. So I'm seeing like a lot of British stuff on my feed, which sometimes I don't love that. But one thing I do love is a chart from Statista of a survey of 2,082 Great Britain adults and 1,200 plus U.S. adults conducted in the spring of last year, entitled, "Which animals could you beat in a fight? Which of the following animals, if any, do you think you could beat in a fight if you were unarmed?" And it shows where British people voted and where Americans voted. And very unsurprisingly, Americans were ahead of British people and if they could win in these fights, which I don't know if that's kind of like the meekness of some of the Englishmen of just being like, "Oh, sorry, Mr. Kangaroo, don't want any trouble with you." Or if this is just like Americans being like, "Yeah, I've had like a lot of raw testicles in my diet lately. I could beat the shit out of this animal." And I sent both of you the chart. What stands out to you on? Because for me, it's the enormous discrepancy. The widest discrepancy on the entire chart was over 60% of Americans say they could beat up a goose. Meanwhile, that number for the Brits is under 50%, around 45% of Brits say that they could beat a goose. Which, thank God this is coming out after the World Wars, because, I mean, like, if the Axis powers knew this about geese, that this could just stifle the entire British army, things could have gone a little hairier, you know?
Yeah, I mean, A goose is not that hard. What surprised me was how a house cat isn't 100%. And there's not 100% on this, even rat. Like, if you can't beat up a house cat to save your own life, you shouldn't be here.
Dude,
Yeah,
rat-
a rat is the highest percentage. Americans are above 70%, and the Brits are around what looks to be like 67%. I could kick the shit out of a rat.
Yeah.
Like, a rat's not going to beat me unless you're including like diseases into this, in which case, like, yeah, I can kill a mosquito, but it may also kill me as well. Like, if you're putting diseases in it, fine. But if, like, to a man, that rat and I are both fully healthy and not transmitting disease to one another, I'd step on a rat, I'd kick a rat, I'd grab a rat, I'd throw it against a wall. I mean, I'd kill a rat.
No, dude. Rats are way faster than you. I'm sorry.
No, but this rat wants to fight me. It's not trying to run away from me. It wants the smoke, and it's going to get it if it comes at me like that.
It's going to stay on the outside of the ring. It's not going to try and body you up and it's going to work you. It's going to spin you in circles.
So I'm just going to get dizzy. Are you thinking that this fight will be like a Looney Tunes cartoon?
No, I'm just saying you cannot hit what you can't see. This rat is faster than you. B, rats, even if you get a hold of it, their bodies are designed to like be able to absorb and sneak through small spaces. Your grip will do nothing to this rat.
So is this me specifically, or do you also think you'd lose to this rat?
I have lost to many rats. So this is everybody.
Okay, so this is personal. So because you lost to this rat, we all lose to this rat.
Let me put it this way. There's $1 million industry called rat traps for a reason, because they are superior to us in this realm.
I don't think that exists because we can't win in fights. I think that exists because we don't want to fist fight rats. We would just rather they get trapped and killed.
Yeah, I mean, there's an area between the two of what we're both saying that exists where people would like to fight rats, like with bats, with tennis rackets, with weapons, and they still cannot beat them. So they need a trap.
I honestly think that Goose is the one for me that's pie in the sky. Geese are mean. Geese are aggressive. Geese, they're large. I don't want to trifle with a goose. Doc, would you trifle with a goose?
I mean, I still think one swift kick to the head for a goose, they're going down.
I'm body shots on a goose.
Yeah, you got to punt it like a football. I mean, a goose has no teeth. It has no claws. It's not going to hurt you. It's just going to annoy you and gum your arm to death.
That beak, my friend.
Okay, watch out for your eyes and your nads. You'll be fine.
I'm with Doc here. Like the possibility for a goose to draw blood is much lower than a rat. A rat could draw blood fairly easily. A goose,
but not a significant amount of blood.
Death by 1,000 rat cuts, my friend.
It gets me to bleed a little bit. I take a taste. I let that rat know I'm not that guy, pal, that you want to mess with. But what I think is a little messed up is if there was one place where the Brits should surpass Americans, it's on an eagle. Because, well, eagles have talons and beaks, but we shouldn't want to. That should be like a mercy kill. You lay down, you lay your arms wide and say, come take me for this country. But instead, we have 30% of Americans that are willing and believe they're able to kill this eagle.
That's 30 unpatriotic people right there.
Yeah.
Well, another really troubling one is, and I'll just read off some of the American stats here, like 22% large dog, like 18% chimpanzee, 15% king cobra, 14% kangaroo, like 12% wolf. But then it gets to like the hubris of Americans. because this is like a far cry from rats and geese that we're right around 10% for crocodile, gorilla, lion, and elephant. Grizzly bear is the lowest. And by the way, basically no Brits believe that they can beat any of these animals. But we're at around 5% for grizzly bears, where Americans are just like, if I get one good swing, like, I don't hate my odds.
Did you see Leonardo and Revenant?
Well, 1 in 10 Americans are just like, an elephant versus me? Have you seen me? There's not one person on earth that could beat an elephant in a fight. And meanwhile, 10%, so 120 U.S. adults were just like, yeah, fuck that elephant. He's going down. Have you seen elephants? Like, am I the only one who remembers what elephants look like? They're like 2 tons, and they have 2 fucking huge weapons on their face. If you ever get close to the ground, that thing can stomp you out. Also, elephants, I'm pretty sure, can run like 50 miles an hour. So if this fight is taking place in a ring or a gymnasium or wherever, there's nowhere for you to hide from this elephant.
And famously thick skin.
And they're going to know what you're coming at them. Like, if you somehow last a round with this elephant, it remembers, hello, it's going to know where you're coming next.
You better pray they don't get game tape.
Yeah. Oh, God, no. No. That elephant's going to be ready.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kangaroos being like 15%, they famously box. Like, they're getting gains. And you're trying to trifle with that? I don't know. Couldn't be me.
King Cobra was so high, I found was also kind of interesting. I mean, you had the poison side. You didn't get 1 ounce of poison in you, you're dead.
That's the only one here that has that poison element, which that's not like rats, because you can have rats with or without disease. There's no, hey, King Cobra, hold the poison. No, that thing gets you on you once. What are they thinking? Like, Ben, walk me through, you're fighting a King Cobra and you win. How does it go?
Well, am I allowed to charm it?
Yes.
Yeah,
You're
so
unarmed, but you still have your facilities.
you charm it, and then you karate chop it. Like,
How are
And
you
then-
charming this Cobra? Like, are you complimenting it? Are you whining and dining this Cobra?
I send it a drink across the bar. This one's from that guy.
You know, I kind of want to bite him, but he's also like a little dreamy. So I don't know. Like, are they thinking they're going to just like grab it? Like when it tries to strike, you get it first and you're like, I got you right here.
Yeah, well, I mean, like snake charmers, it's a whole industry too. Like,
So you think you have a lot of lead up into this fight. Like, this isn't you and a Cobra tomorrow in the wild. This is like pay-per-view, Ben Ralston, Spaghetti Junction Boys podcast via Cobra. Doc set it up 2 months from now. And you have time to learn to charm.
I don't know if that's enough time, but yes, yeah.
If I give either of you a month to only train and only think about this fight, if I give you King Cobra and below, who do you think you have the best odds on?
I honestly, probably crocodile.
That's mine too.
Mine's kangaroo. Gotta go kangaroo.
Dude, I don't know. You know, with their hind legs, they're known for disemboweling their opponents.
I did not know that. That is terrifying. I want to change my answer now.
They also, and this isn't in a fight because you're fighting this kangaroo on land. They will go halfway into the water, just showing like their sternum and up, and they're trying to woo you into the water so they can drown you.
Terrifying. I just think You get a kangaroo and a good headlock, just break its neck. Might have a chance.
Are you doing anything with the pouch?
No. Not
Staying
touching
away from the pouch.
Staying away. The pouch is moist. Pouch is damp. Not great.
Do you know that?
What's
It's
that?
gotta be.
It's got to be moist.
It's like where they keep their things.
Do you think they keep like other shit in there? Like they have chapstick in there?
Car keys.
Yeah. It's like, oh, my ID. I haven't been carded in years. Hold on.
Oh, did I leave my credit card at the bar? Oh no, it's right here in my pouch.
Silly me. I'm always leaving things in there. And then they have to go to a sporting event and they have to bring a clear pouch because, I mean, you know. Yeah, for me, it's a crocodile too, because crocodiles are similar to alligators in that they can't open their mouth with much force. I believe it's like the average strength of a 5-year-old can hold a full-grown alligator's mouth closed. And I believe that's the same with the crocodile, but of course they have skinnier snouts than alligators, so you can really wrap your head. And so I try to suffocate that crocodile.
I mean, that's the only avenue.
Yeah. Maybe poke out the eyes as I'm suffocating it, and then I deliver the Happy Gilmore elbow of justice right to its brain. It's got a small brain, but I'm going to crush it. Anything else on this animal front? I mean, we've got a gourd here. Should we get into Game One Dance?
Well, it got too graphic. I started to get uncomfortable. Really, it took a turn for me when Doc talked about breaking a kangaroo's neck.
Listen, I'm going to be honest. We've probably lost the majority of our crocodile audience forever after this segment.
And kangaroos, probably.
They closed out of the podcast app and said, you know what? Never again. Blocked,
Well,
unfollowed, unsubscribed, pass.
Well, the Venn diagram of crocodile lovers and Liver King fans is just one circle, so they didn't even get past the first 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, let's get into Gambling Dan's. Before we do, again, I want to thank our friends over at Manscaped. We've sent packages from Manscaped for our packages. Included in there was the one, the only Lawnmower 4.0. This trimmer is the future of grooming and features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and has a 400K LED spotlight you need for a more precise shave. If you're anything like me, you somehow still have shaving remnants from 2016 somewhere in your bathroom. Well, thanks to that waterproof technology, say goodbye to the mess on the bathroom floor. Say hello to a cleaner, fresher shave. It's time to take care of yourself. So go to manscaped.com, get 20% off and free shipping with the code SJB Atlanta. All right. So on the year, I am barely leading the way at 58%. Ben is at 57 on my heels. Doc is at 46%. Doc and I are both below 500 on our whammies at this point. Meanwhile, Ben is pulling it up at 63%. Ben with a hell of a week last week. Up 4 units, went 4-1, hit his whammy. I've hit 60% each of my last 3 weeks, but I'm 0-3 on my last 3 whammies. Doc, 0-4 in the last 4 whammies. You can fade Doc. You can ride with Doc to right the ship. We'll see how it goes, Doc. Why don't you get us started?
All right, pick number 1. We're going here. We're doing Falcons hosting the Steelers. So I'm liking Falcons here plus 1.5. They're at home. They're in tight race with the Buccaneers to win the NFC South. I know there's a bunch of weeks left, but this is a big game for them to win. Get an easy win under their belt. Steelers are just not playing good football. Probably the first year that Tomlin doesn't make it above 500 in his coaching career, so it's crazy there. But the Falcons have been playing people tight. I like a home dog here. It's going to be Falcons plus 1.5. Pick number 2, we are going down to out west to California, where 49ers host the Dolphins. Give me Dolphins plus 3.5. Excuse me. I like Tua here. Hill's going to have a good day. The Dolphins offense is just very, very good. And I love that this matchup with just a good 49ers defense is just going to keep this game pretty close. I know the 49ers are at home, but give me Dolphins in a tight game. So give me Dolphins plus 3.5.
All right. I'll go 2 next. I'm also going to go with the Falcons. Originally, I like the Falcons at -1.5 where it opened, and now that it's flipped, I like the Falcons still at +1.5. Atlanta is 4-2 against the spread at home this year, despite Monday's win over the hapless Colts. Pittsburgh's just not a very good team. Kenny Pickett, prone to make mistakes. Najee Harris is just not seeing his holes. He's not getting good blocking either. I like the Falcons at home here, and I think they're going to win by a decent margin. Also, give me the Browns -7. The Texans are horrendous, plain horrendous, especially in the first half of the last 2 weeks. Last week, they were down 30-0 with the Dolphins resting most all of their starters the whole second half. Tua came out with, I believe, a series or 2 left in the third quarter and never went back in. This is also the return of Deshaun Watson. I think Watson and the Browns will be spirited. Amari Cooper's been having a good year with Jacoby Brissett. I think that they're going to score a lot. They're going to score early, and then they're going to just salt this one away with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in the second half. So I like Browns -7 as well.
I'll start with my pick I like the least, but I think it's the most fun. North Carolina, what the hell? What happened to these guys?
God, they slept.
Yeah. I mean, it's like they're asleep too now. It's translated to the team. But I really like Drake May. Obviously, I think he's a special player. And this game means something for them, whereas like Clemson would rather, be doing the Christmas shopping. So give me North Carolina +7.5. I don't think they're going to win outright, but I think it's going to be just like a wildly entertaining, close game. But again, that's the one I like the least. I'll kind of go in order from how I feel about them. Next, LSU, Georgia. I don't know where Jaden Daniels is currently health-wise with that ankle. But if he is, mobile enough to give Georgia fits, which a mobile quarterback will do, I think they keep this game like within 2 touchdowns. So give me LSU -18.5. Georgia, what they want to do is run the ball to give Stetson kind of get him into a rhythm. And I just don't know. Although Devin Achane just ran for 3,000 yards against LSU, I don't know with Harold Perkins and this Georgia offensive line like that Georgia's going to be able to find that rhythm offensively. So I like it like a 10 to 14 point game. So give me LSU -18.5.
I like those picks. Picks number 3 here. Give me the Chiefs -2.5 in Cincinnati. Chiefs are just unreal right now. I just looked at their last 5 games, and in their last 6 games, I had to go that far back to find first their last loss, which was to the Bills by 3, and then they've won every game by 3 or more points. So you get them at 2.5 is great here. They're going to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's playing really well. That defense is going crazy. But the Chiefs are just on a roll right now, and I don't see it stopping for Cincinnati. So give me Chiefs -2.5. Pick number 4 is an ugly one here. Nobody wants to watch a bad game. Nobody wants to watch the Cowboys, and nobody wants to watch the Colts right now. But I'm taking the under here, 43.5. I just don't see it going quick. Sunday night, it's going to be a lot of field goals. I don't see a lot of touchdowns being scored here. Prime time. Colts are really only offensive weapon that they have right now, other than the occasional Michael Pittman big play, is Jonathan Taylor. So the Cowboys just zone in on that defense like they did against the Vikings, shut down the run game. Colts aren't scoring anything here. And I see the Cowboys just kind of sputtering on a couple of red zone drives here. And really, just the under is just juicy, 43.5.
Doc, as much as I want to ride with you on that Dolphins pick, I'm feeling the other side of the board here. Give me the 49ers -3.5. I don't think Miami will score enough to cover for once. They've scored 30-plus points in each of their last 4 games. But that 49er defense, especially along the defensive line, is absolutely salty. McDaniel is a genius. He is a genius, but his entire career before this year was with Kyle Shanahan. There's going to be no secrets for either side. We'll see who wins out there, but there's going to be no element of surprise of what McDaniel's bringing to the table. Meanwhile, Miami is likely without Terran Armstead, their right tackle. Austin Jackson, his first game since week 1. He re-injured his ankle. He's unlikely to play. Brandon Shell played really well, didn't allow a sack in his previous 5 games filling in right tackle. So not as worried there. But without Terran Armstead, it's trouble. That's likely to be Greg Little filling in. He's going to try and give it a go with the pec injury, but it's not likely. The Texans, after Armstead went down, picked up 3 sacks in 3 plays. The 49ers pass rush is definitely better than the Texans, and they're terrific against the run. So I think this is going to be a bit of a struggle for the Dolphins. Also going all the way out west. Never ideal. They're going on that 2-week West Coast swing. So give me the 49ers minus 3.5, and I'm going to pray I'm wrong. Also, give me the Troy Trojans, my first of 2 Trojans picks this week. They're going up against Grayson McCall, less Coastal Carolina. Troy's laying minus 10.5 here. Since McCall went down, Coastal beat a 500 Southern Miss team at home by 3 and then promptly lost to James Madison by 40. Meanwhile, Troy is 7-1 against the spread in conference play. They are fantastic at home. They're 6-0 at home. This game will be played at Troy. That's how the Sun Belt does things. So I'm going to lay the points. Troy's going to blow them out. John Summerall doing a fantastic job there. He is a loss at Ole Miss and a Hail Mary against Appalachian State at the Horn. Those are his only 2 losses this year. Take the Trojans.
I'm keeping it in college, kind of where I found a comfort zone. Michigan is going to absolutely annihilate Purdue. I don't really have much else to say. Michigan minus 16.5.
Jeff Brom, undefeated against top 3 teams. Boilermakers, sneaky.
I mean, yeah, sure. I don't know. No, Michigan minus 16.5. That's going to be a bloodbath. I don't know anything about Purdue, but I'm very impressed with Michigan. TCU has found ways to win and is really starting to peak. Sorry, Doc, that they kind of finally flexed the muscle against Iowa State. They have everything right here in front of them. They really need. I think they want to get a lot of momentum going into the playoff. Obviously, Kansas State tough and played them tough last time. Even despite losing both Adrian Martinez and Will Howard in the game. I think this is going to be Will Howard. But I think TCU is going to bottle up Deuce Vaughn relative as much as you can. And they've just got so much explosiveness on offense. I like this game to be really beyond a touchdown. So give me TCU minus 2.5.
I like those picks. Yeah, TCU took it to me last weekend. It was sore, but Iowa State is a basketball school, so I'll just keep telling you guys that. All right, on to my whammy. 3 Chargers minus 1.5. Yes, betting against the Raiders last weekend as my whammy killed me. Seattle just did not look good. I don't want to talk about last week, but that was Josh Jacobs being Josh Jacobs. I think the Chargers play them tight here. The Chargers have been playing everyone tight. I said last week against when I picked the Cardinals against the Chargers, the Chargers have won every game for the last 8 weeks by 3 points. So that's going to happen again. But I think it's in their favor this time. Give me a late field goal to win the game. Chargers minus 1.5. See them winning by 3. It's just Raiders have to go down. And if the Raiders win this game and they win outright, I'm never betting against them again the rest of the year.
So I've been a bit streaky on whammies this year.
Yeah, we know.
I won 3 in a row. I've now lost 3 in a row. Just saying, the chickens are coming home to roost, and they're doing so for the Trojans of the University of Southern California, favored by 2.5 against Utah in the Pac-12 title game. I don't like betting on a team to beat someone twice. Utah is USC's only loss this year, and USC dominated for the majority of that game. They led for 52 minutes and 48 seconds of that game and only trailed for 48 seconds. They lost on 2-point conversion at the end to lose by 43-42 in Salt Lake. This one's not in Salt Lake. It's tough to beat a team twice. USC is rolling. They are rolling. Call Proud Mary. She knows what I'm talking about. Caleb Williams, your Heisman winner. They have 2 elite wide receivers out there. The defense is a little suspect. I don't think Utah is going to be able to keep up with the firepower this time around. The Utes don't get it done. Trojans, big fight on.
Yeah, I know our listeners are probably,
Not crocodiles.
Yeah, they're not. They heard that and they're just like, okay, sounds fine, but we really would like someone to validate that pick. So I'm gonna do that for them right here and now. Put your mortgage on it. Southern Cal is going to annihilate Utah and really, really send a message to the rest of the country who probably hasn't been paying attention to them outside of last week against Notre Dame because all their games are at 4 a.m. But yeah, give me USC over Utah -2.5 too.
The other validation, my little sneaky dark horse to make it into the playoffs, USC.
Right now?
No, back at early, the first week of the year.
I think.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Let's revisit those.
Michigan and USC.
Doc, you were not like that terribly sneaky in what you took the team that added 2 former, like the Bolitnikov winner last year, a 5-star quarterback and a 5-star wide receiver, and got a coach who's been to the playoff, and you're just like in a bad conference. You're just like, hey.
I don't know.
And don't be salty. You picked Utah, brother.
I think so.
If TCU is to lose, you may have gotten the playoff entirely right. Doc's 4 playoff picks were Alabama, Georgia, USC, and Michigan.
Alabama's not getting in.
No.
My 4 picks, I'm going to go 0-4. I just tried to at least get a little fun with it. I didn't try to go full Desmond Howard, but I did try and give you a little sprinkle of something. I'm going to go 0-4. I have Alabama, Ohio State, Utah, and NC State. But
NC State?
Yeah, not great. Well, Doc's dark horse Heisman bet was J.J. McCarthy. He may get an invite. And then I had Hendon Hooker as mine, who had a good shot at that Heisman until he got hurt. So not too bad on that. But
yeah,
shouldn't have trusted the Utes and the Wolfpack. That's on me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be seeing you next week. If you're listening to this and you're cold-blooded, we really apologize. And if we've gotten some kangaroo inaccuracies, please let us know. If not, you'll see us next week as I rub the Boilermakers in Ben's face. Thanks as always for listening. We'll see you next week.